press every day for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they here they run to? Move it down. I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join us oppressors, the EJ love. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come more. It is very close and they feel more. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it down. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. One of them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.
Kiwe wesu garani orianya nine oria nine nke purita kwa samado dendo nihi no bu nani bonye na agwo oria anyi we na akpoku gị onwe gị busumele nke ndị agha ka igwe mere anyị ebere ka akwa ka anyị na ebe ka ude ka anyị na-asụ wee bịa n'iru gị ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee guzosi ike ka anyị wee n'ikpete mazụ nya ha sogotụtara nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'ebighị ebi maruo n'ebighị ebi ise mama dịrị gị Chineke mama dịrị gị Chineke.
If I go about deliberately looking for who to disturb, who is going about deliberately looking for who to disturb? You say never go about. Then you don't need to go about. They will come. They will come for you. You don't need to go about. What did our leader say about these people? I want you to listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Say, please don't go about looking for trouble. Chai! The Shoji. Mad people everywhere. I want you to listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
That the structures doesn't exist. The institutions that will allow the emergence of a
rather than going on now. Now, let me ask you. I know. Why don't your group put?
For those who will always say, "Oh, why don't you win election? Why don't you bring somebody who is going to win election for you? Why don't you go to national conference? Why don't you do this? Listen to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu answered.
Push for that in a place like the national conference that is going on now to get that kind of autonomy first, rather than now pushing for independence without whether Nigeria wants it or not.
The fact of the matter is that the structures doesn't exist. The institutions that will allow the emergence of a democratic Biafra within a peaceful setting does not currently exist in that very place you call Nigeria. Mind you, that is the name of a river. Up north, you call them Niger, which is French. If you come down a little bit, it is called Niger, which is English. And the people that live around it are called Nigerians. The only place, or part of the only place in Black Africa where you name a people after a river. I have never seen any civilized country in the world where people are named after a river. It's never happened before. The people own the river, not the other way around. By tacitly accepting the word and the tag Nigeria, what it means is that you never had any history until Frederick Lugard came, which is a fallacy, it's an abomination, and nobody should be saying that. Coming back to what you said, there is no way we can run for office as a political party. We tried it with ABGA and it did not work. These issues were trashed out very well. Is that the people that control the levers of power within Nigeria are not politically sophisticated enough to appreciate the finer points of political discourse. In other words, that disputes resolution can best be conducted within a political setting where people are civilized. And I'm afraid to say that what I see in the zoo they call Nigeria, people are not civilized.
Now, we're out of time, but let me ask you, last week, I believe, the Biafran Zionist movement claimed a responsibility for the attack at the attacks in the Enugu State Government House. Are you familiar with that group, and what was the mission of that attack?
I am familiar with a lot of groups. That name rings a bell. Anybody that can do anything to disrupt the present orthodoxy of governance by a group of very corrupt cabals is welcome. In that regard, I welcome what they did at Enugu, and I hope that people can come out and join us when the time comes to overthrow the very corrupt, inept old men and women in charge of that very place, because Biafra must exist. It's our right to make sure it happens.
All right.
While Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not condemning any group, while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not condemning any group whatsoever, just like I am supporting any group at all, so long as you are fighting against Nigeria. While Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not supporting, is not condemning any group, the people that claim follow him today, they say Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is this. Simon Ekpa is that. After 10 good months of fighting Simon Ekpa, they didn't achieve anything. After 10 months of fighting Simon Ekpa, they didn't achieve anything. Yet, they are now changing tone. Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is the leader of a non-government. Chai! This OG. And they are looking for freedom. You see, the more you blackmail me, the more you are blackmailing yourself. You think you are blackmailing me. You are blackmailing yourself. You don't know that? When the BBC came and do their nonsense disinformation, is it only Simon Ekpa that they showed his picture? Is it only Simon Ekpa? You all were there. All of you were there. You could not even defend yourself. The same Simon Ekpa you are calling all manner of names defended you there. And let me tell you, even when they mentioned Simon Ekpa, the issue they mentioned Simon Ekpa there was not even, I can defend anything I say. All of you, you could not defend yourself, yet, you blackmail me. You think that when you blackmail me, when they want to call name, they call only Ekpa? All of you, your picture were there. Did you see my picture in the write-up? No. My picture was my video was hidden in the video. But all of you, your picture was there. Every day you look for Simon Ekpa, you post. Simon Ekpa is one pota. Simon Ekpa is a perima. Simon Ekpa is this. When the thing begin to happen, you think it doesn't, they will call you. And when the issue started, you could not defend yourself. You couldn't defend yourself. BBC did not say it was Simon Ekpa. BBC put your picture, all of you, as you were blackmailing Simon Ekpa, they did not say it was, they put all of your picture. So this one, they say, we are going to kill this one, we are going to kill that one. All of your picture was there, your video was there. Yet, you will wake up every day to blackmail Simon Ekpa. And every day, if you don't, of course, some of you can never learn. Hatred and jealousy of Simon Ekpa have beclouded the brain that you don't even have at all. I do not know when they are going to learn. They think when they promote Simon Ekpa by calling Simon Ekpa criminal, the BBC will come and say Simon Ekpa. All of you, the more you are calling me a terrorist, the way you are calling me a terrorist is the same thing you are calling yourself. You think when you are a terrorist, oh, Jesus Christ. This BBC disinformation should have teach all of you a lesson. You think when you come to social media, because you hate me, because you are jealous of me, because you don't like me, you think when you call me criminal, you are going to pay for everything you say. You are going to pay. You carry my name and blackmail. Simon Ekpa is the leader of a non-government. Simon Ekpa is this one. Simon Ekpa is that one. You see the way BBC is dealing with you people? If anything is going to happen anywhere, you are going to also be dragged into it. And you can't even defend yourself. It's Boribos. It's in Pataka. Everywhere. Get yourself educated, you say no. Go to school, you say no. Simon Ekpa every day. Simon Ekpa every morning.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us on today's program, wherever you are joining from. I appreciate you for being part of this very program. It's a very blessed Sunday. I say happy Sunday to every one of us, more especially our Christian brothers and sisters across the world, wherever you may be. I welcome you and I thank you for being part of this very program. Please, as you join us, like and share the program to all platforms. Share to family and friends. Share to everyone that you can be able to reach. Anyone that you can get across to, share to them and let them join us on this very quick program. We have come once again to speak to the world. We have come to express ourselves. It is a Sunday sermon. As I always say, Biafra is my religion. Many of us, Biafra is our religion. But that does not take us away from where we belong. My Biafranness is not at war with my Christianity. I am a Christian, a Biafran, Igbo Biafran at that. And two of them are not fighting. I welcome every one of us on today being Sunday. So many of us have gone to church and come back. Some people are still on their way to church. Some are still in the church. So anyone that have made it to this very program today, I appreciate you and I thank you so much for making it. It is a day that people, Christians more especially, dedicate to God. A day we come together to pray to Chukwu Abiyama, to make requests, present our supplications, and take permission for the days ahead. And I believe you prayed for Biafra as you went to your church. I believe you prayed for Biafra. If you did not, I don't know why you didn't. And those who are still in their churches or those who are still about to go to church, please don't forget to pray for Biafra. We need prayers now more than ever. We need your prayers. And I don't see why a Christian would take him or herself away from this struggle. For a Christian to take him or herself away from this struggle is something that I do not understand. As a Christian, you are supposed to be part of this very message. You are supposed to be part of this very cause that we are in. No matter what happens, no matter what the enemies are doing, no matter the challenges, there is no reason that a Christian will give why he or she is not going to be part of this very message. There is no excuse whatsoever. There is no excuse anybody can give and say, this is why I don't want to be part of this. There is no excuse. Every one of us must be part of this very message. We must be part of this very gospel. It is something that we must do. It does not matter what the enemies are saying. It does not matter how the enemies say it. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter the propaganda, the blackmail. We are supposed to be part of this very journey to freedom. In fact, not just being part of it, we are supposed to be in the front line. Those of us that are Christians, we are supposed to be on the front line. You have no excuse to give. So when you see people who claim to be Christians and yet they do not support their own freedom, I begin to wonder the kind of Christianity that they confess or they profess. Because we know that the person who is in the front line for the cause of Christianity, the person of our Lord Jesus Christ, is also a freedom fighter. In fact, his coming was to come and fight for the freedom of mankind. That was why he came. He came to fight for our freedom. That was the main purpose of his coming. He came to fight for our freedom. And I see no reason why we cannot be able also put our heads together to fight for that same freedom that he stood for. There is no excuse anybody can give anywhere as a Christian to say this is why you wouldn't fight for freedom, or this is why you are not going for freedom. There is no excuse. We are supposed to be in the front line of the pursuit of freedom. We are supposed to be in the front line. So every one of us who is not participating, it means there is something missing in you. It means you don't know what you are doing. We are supposed to be in the front line for the pursuit of the freedom of the people. And today we are here, even though it is Sunday, and we continue to speak about the freedom of the Biafran people. It is very essential. And as I always say, the Christians are supposed to be in the front line for the pursuit of the freedom of the people. There are many quotations in the Bible that support this fact. Many quotations. Something like Isaiah chapter 1 verse 17, he said, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of fatherless, plead the cause of the widow. In Psalm 72, 12, 14, it also says, for he will deliver the needy who cry out, the afflicted who have no one to help. He will take pity on the weak and the needy. All this is talking about freedom fighting. It's talking about justice. Amos 5:24 said, let justice roll. Let justice roll on like a river, righteousness like never falling stream. Justice, that is what Christianity mainly is all about. Fighting for justice for the people. Micah 6:8 says, what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. Show that God cares deeply about justice, freedom. He sides with the oppressed. So if you are a Christian and you are not siding with the oppressed, you are not adding your voice in the cause of the freedom of the people, I don't know the kind of Christianity you are practicing. You better wake up and begin to do things right. Because we must continue to speak up. We must continue to ask. We must continue to demand for the freedom of the people and support the oppressed. In this case, in the case of Biafra, it is very, very clear to everyone. The oppression against the Biafran people, the atrocities of the evil ones against the Biafran people cannot be overemphasized. That is why it is painful. When you look into Nigeria today, there are pastors and bishops from Biafra land. You look in the Vatican City, there are bishops in Vatican City who are from Biafra land. But why are they not making case for their people? Have you thought that? Why is it that these people, we have cardinals who are in the top position in Catholic? We have reverend fathers scattered out across the whole world who are of Biafran ethnicity. Why are they not in the front line of making a case for Biafra? We have seen reverend fathers in the past who fought for freedom of their people, and they were very successful. And as I said, Christ himself fought for the freedom of humanity. That was why he came to fight for freedom. We saw what Desmond Tutu did in apartheid. Desmond Tutu was in the front line of the battle. He fought gallantly, even though as a bishop, he fought. So why is it that the Biafran clergy, the Biafran bishop, the Biafran pastors are silent about the situation of their own people? Why? Why are they silent? Why are they silent? This is a question you have to ask yourself. Why are they silent? Why is it that some of them are seeing Biafra agitation as something that is meaningless? They see it as it doesn't concern them. The mass suffering of the Biafran people is not hidden. It is in the open. If you turn to the left, you will see it. You turn to the right, you will see it. The pain of the Biafran people cannot be hidden. But yet, these clergymen who are of Biafran ethnicity are doing nothing. They don't care about what is happening. You see some of them making a case for other people in other regions. Clergymen from Biafran land, they make a case for Palestinian children. They make a case for children in places where there are crises. But their own children are being murdered every day. Their own children are being made fatherless. Their children are made orphan. And yet, they say nothing about it. Why is it so? There is a very strong oppression against the Biafran people. Human rights violations, detention of agitators, restriction of speech, etc. But yet, none of them is saying a word. They pretend they don't hear it. Today is Sunday. Go to their various churches. You will never see them talking about the atrocities in their own neighborhood. I am talking, forget about other people now. I'm talking about those clergymen that are from Biafra land. More especially those that are Igbos, the Igbo Biafra that are clergymen. that are in various top positions as bishop, as cardinals, as pastors, why is it that they ignore the cry of their people? Instead, you see them taking challenges on other areas and forget about that which concerns them. Why is it that our suffering is being ignored? Chukwuokukabiyama will never ignore our sufferings. God will always hear the cry of the oppressed. And we will continue to cry, believing that our voice is heard. And one day it will come to an end. Every single one of us, as Biafrans, wherever you are, never give up. Don't allow anything to deter you from the cause of freedom. Not your religion, not your business, not your political affiliation. Whichever area you think you are, don't allow that to make you shy away from the cause of freedom of your people. We must continue to create awareness. We must continue to preserve ourselves. We must continue to show in character, in solidarity, awakening of global conscience. These are the areas these clergymen are supposed to be paying attention to, but why are they not doing it? We have many of them who have top positions that can create a global awareness about the situation of Biafra. Why are they not doing it? The church is described as the salt and the light. So why are they there waiting and watching and people's life have been destroyed? The time has come for every single one of us to continue to speak, ask questions, and call the attention of these people. Let's assume they are sleeping. It is time for them to wake up. It is time for them to wake up. It is so bad that some of them in their churches, you can never see them raise a prayer for justice for Biafra. So many of them, they will never raise a prayer for the victims in Biafra land, for justice, for freedom, for deliverance. They will never. Deliverance from the slavery of the British, the enslavement of the Janjaweed in Nigeria. They will never do that. It is time for us to speak up. If they cannot come and speak, they can put it in writing. They have places they can tell our stories. It is not just by violent advocation. We are not calling anybody to go to violence. We are not telling them to go and pick up a gun or fight. Make a case for your people. Speak up. This is where these people are supposed to be paying attention, and they are doing nothing about that. Support the cause of Biafra the best way they can. Support the cause of Biafra. Many of our brothers and sisters are languishing in jail. Many are languishing in many places, including stations. How many of those top bishops have you seen come to their aid or speak about the issue? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today has been in jail for almost 5 years and still counting. Mazi Simon Ekpa abducted. How many of these top Biafrans who are cardinals, who are top bishops, have made a case for them? Today is Sunday, a day that Christians go to worship. And in Nigeria, you know that the Biafrans are almost 90% Christians. You can take it to the bank. Go to all the churches in Nigeria today. Each church you enter, in any state, count the members in that church. Biafrans have the highest number. Biafrans have the highest number. But why is it that the church abandoned us? They abandoned us. Nobody is speaking about our issue. Nobody is talking about it. And I don't want to blame foreign countries, because our own people who have occupied position in all these places, why are they not making a case for their people? Of course, not only with it, equality. When you're not making a case for your people, how on earth do you think that others will make a case for you? It is your responsibility to make your case. It is your responsibility to make your own case. If you don't, nobody's going to make a case for you. So it is what it is. So my fellow Biafrans, wherever you are, and you are watching this program today, I urge you in the name of Chukwu Gabiam, we must continue to call these people out to do what they're supposed to do. They can stand in for unity for Biafra. Look at the chaos we are having today in the cause of Biafra. Misunderstanding right, left, and center, different camps and different groups. With the presence of these people who call themselves clergy, with their top position, they can be able to bring reconciliation among Biafrans. And they can forge one front and fight this battle once and for all. We need justice. Biafra needs justice. Biafra needs justice. And we must continue to stand up and seek for justice. Regardless what anybody is saying, regardless what anybody is doing, regardless what they believe or what they think, we must not look back. God have a heart for justice. That is why it is mandatory that every Christian, everybody, Christian more especially, must speak up for justice. If you claim to love God, if you claim you love God, if you claim you love God in any area, even if you're not a Christian, whatever religion you believe in, and you claim you love God, you must have that heart for justice. The plight of the Biafran people and what it means for them. Everybody who claims to be a lover of God, if have the fear of God, must stand with the oppressed people. Anybody that has the fear of God must stand with the oppressed people. And that is how you know that in Nigeria, all these people that claim to be, that they love God, have no fear of God in them. Because if you have the fear of God, first thing first, you must be with the oppressed people. You must speak for the oppressed. You must stand with the oppressed at all times. But in the Zoological Republic, instead of standing with the oppressed, they will stand with the oppressor. That is the system of Nigeria. Nigeria people stand with the oppressor instead of standing with the oppressed. They back the oppressor. Even when you rise up to stand with the oppressed, they will tell you, are you the only one? They will come after you and attack you. That is how bad it is. You claim to be a Christian, but you cannot speak the truth. You cannot speak for the oppressed. You can't. Instead, you join the oppressor to oppress them. I say today being Sunday, go to their various churches. You will hardly see anyone raising a prayer for Biafra. In that, they will be in that Nigeria, they will be raising prayer for Palestine. They will be raising prayer for Palestine. But in that country where there is bloodshed, shedding of blood of innocent every blessed day, they will never raise a prayer. They will stay in Nigeria, they will raise a prayer for Ukraine. They are praying for Ukraine to get freedom, to have peace. But the same people who are making that prayer, their own land is under fire. They don't care. They pretend as if it's not happening. Even when they see you talking about it, they look at you as an idiot. They see you as somebody who doesn't know what he or she did. They only want to flow with the flow with the crowd. the first way to show that you are truly a Christian or that you fear God is for you to stand with the oppressed. You are supposed to be the greatest lover of a freedom fighter, somebody who you know is fighting for his freedom. You're supposed to be an advocate for freedom because that was the reason Christ came. It was for freedom, to free mankind. There was no mission he had. The only mission he had was to come and free mankind. So Christianity itself is about freedom. But today, definitely it's not about freedom. It is about money and popularity. It's about money and popularity. But that will not make us to run away. It should not make us to stop saying what we are saying. It will not make us to stop making our demand. Every one of us, in your only two way, continue to pray for the nation Biafra. Pray for those who are suffering injustice in Biafra land. Pray for our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Pray for Nnamdi Kanu. And other Biafrans that are languishing in several jails, many jails in the zoo. Pray for them. Don't ever forget. Raise an altar for them and continue to pray for them. At least do that. It won't cost you anything. We are not telling you to go and pick up arms and fight anybody. We are not telling you to go and confront anybody. We are not advocating for you to go. There are people who that is their mission, they have to do it. But at least remember to pray for those suffering injustice in Biafra land. Nnamdi Kanu. Look at Simon Ekpa and the international ground suffering injustice. And so many other Biafrans in detention, those who can't mention their name. Always share the truth. Your voice matters. Any place you find yourself, in any environment at any point in time, speak about the case of Biafra. Your voice matters a lot. Your voice matters a lot. Speak up. Speak up in truth. In truth. Speak up. Support the cause of Biafra. Advocate for Biafra freedom. Be a voice for the voiceless. We say all this word. Outside we say it and we defend it, but when it comes to our own issue, people are, they don't care. They don't care. We must continue to support the cause of Biafra the best way we can because we have no other hope. No other person is going to speak on our behalf. Nobody is going to stand for you and I. It is only us that can speak or stand for ourselves. And I pray that Chukwu Okike will give us that grace to make it and be there when we need to be there. It is so sad. The kind of things we see and the kind of things that happens. It is so sad. The atrocities that we see every day coming from all corners and all angles. I pray that Chukwu Okike will give us the strength and the power to overcome. Because for us to be able to overcome in this cause of Biafra, for us to be able to win this challenge, we need to go extra mile and do what we have to do. Propaganda and blackmail is not going to help us. Lies is not going to help us. We must stand on the truth always, no matter what happens. No matter the troubles, we must always stand on the truth. Because only the truth shall set us free. Only the truth and in truth shall we overcome. Without truth, There is nothing we can do. Today we have seen our situation in Nigeria. You have seen what is happening in the case of Mazen Nandekan. You saw what is happening in the journey of Biafra that we are into. There are so many confusions, so many troubles, so many things, confusions everywhere, right, left, and center. And how do we overcome these challenges? The only way we can overcome these challenges is to continue to push on. And by the way, I want you to know that there is nothing that is happening in the cause of Biafra today that has not happened in other places. There is nothing that is happening in the cause of Biafra that has not happened before. Everything and every experience you are seeing today has happened in the past. It is just a repetition. But in our own case, because so much is expected of us, most time you see people they expect much more from us, and it will seem as if we are doing something that has not done before. I don't know why my comment section is hooked up. I'm just trying to rectify that. The comments are not coming. I think there's a problem there. The comment is blocked, so I'm going to try to restore that, hopefully. So, my fellow Biafrans, wherever you are watching me from, I want you to understand that this journey is a journey that we will never walk away from. No matter how bad it is, no matter how difficult it is, we will continue to move on until we get to our destination, Biafra. Do not get yourself involved in blackmail, in propaganda, instigation of violence, and blackmailing your brother or your sister. Don't get involved in that. Do not get involved in saga. It's not going to help us. That is why in my message, I decided to stand where I am today. If you listen to the video I played of the statement of our Supreme Leader, Mazen Nandekan and Mazen Simon Ekpa, anybody that can be able to stand against the Zoological Republic and end these very atrocities of Nigeria, I support that person. Every group that is against the Zoological Republic, I stand with them. Because the problem we have is this very British entity called Nigeria. That is our problem. We don't have any other problem apart from that. That is why I stand with anything, anybody that stands against Nigeria. I stand with that person and I support that person. It is not about an individual. It is not about a person. This is a battle that is facing us as a people, more especially the Biafran people. The atrocities of Nigeria cut across Biafra. It is not just the Biafrans, by the way. It cuts across Biafra. The northern part of Nigeria are even facing it worst. But the problem is that they have adapted into the system that they now accept their fate. It's just like the issue of terrorism we are talking about. The northern part of Nigeria have now embraced terrorism as a way of life. They don't complain anymore. They have cried and cried and cried and they lost tears. In the southwest, Yoruba land, many of them are in IDP camp, languishing in IDP camp. Nobody cares. Nobody is talking about it. Even their media, Yoruba own the media. They own the media, but they don't report it. That is how evil Nigeria is. Nigeria will make you to hate your own freedom. You see people hating themselves, their own freedom. People hate their own freedom. And you begin to imagine, why would somebody hate his or her own freedom? Why would somebody be fighting against him or herself? Because in Nigeria, it goes. Just like today, they are doing everything humanly possible to make sure that Biafrans becomes afraid of their own freedom. They are making it so that Biafrans will be ashamed of even telling people that they are Biafrans. That is how bad it is. They want Biafrans to be ashamed of speaking in public and say, oh, I am a Biafran. That is why they are pushing different kinds of blackmail. That is why they sentenced an innocent man to jail. An innocent man who committed no crime. They pronounce a jail sentence on him to scare all us out. They want to make us scared so that we will not be talking about Biafra anymore. Supposedly a civilized nation come out and tell you that Nigeria, that Biafra now is, for you to be a Biafran, you are a terrorist. That is practically what the sentence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu means. Mazi Simon Ekpa. That for being a Biafra is a crime. I don't know how being a Biafra becomes a crime. Because to the best of my knowledge, Mazi Simon Ekpa has not committed any crime. The only crime Mazi Simon Ekpa committed was that he was saying that you should lead my people be. That is the only crime he has committed. Do you ask yourself, what crime has Mazi Simon Ekpa committed? What crime? Do you sometimes ask yourself, what did Mazi Simon Ekpa do that made them to pronounce a sentence on him? Up to 6 years. What did he do? Have you taken time to ask yourself, what offense did Mazi Simon Ekpa commit? And I'm going to name some of the offense. The crime of Mazi Simon Ekpa. I'm going to name the crime of Mazi Simon Ekpa to you so that you can understand. One of our brothers wrote a very powerful epistle on that. Simon Ekpa's crime against humanity. And I'm going to name it. Look at the crimes. These are the crimes Simon Ekpa committed that made them to give him 6 years. I want you to pay attention. And I want everybody that's watching, send the message to your pastors, your reverend fathers, your imam, your native doctors, those who are in top positions, those who have, send them, look at the crime of Mazi Simon Ekpa. Let them preach it, let the world see it and be the judge. Number one of the crime that Mazi Simon committed is that Mazi Simon Ekpa insisting that Biafran should continue to observe the voluntary Monday sit at home to demand the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is number one crime Mazi Simon Ekpa committed. In a country where the voiceless have no voice, where when you protest, they will open fire on you, that Mazi Simon Ekpa joined the Biafrans to support the sit-at. He wasn't even the one that put it in place. He only encouraged Biafrans and support them to continue to demand the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is the crime he committed against humanity. The second crime he committed is strengthening the Biafran security forces, establishing Biafra Defense Force, arming them against Fulani herdsmen and Nigerian security forces. That is the crime Mazi Simon committed, defending his own people. The next crime Mazi Simon committed was conducting Biafran self-referendum, which over 50 million Biafrans voted in favor of Biafran independence. This is the crime Mazi Simon committed that made them to hold him. Number four crime that Mazi Simon committed, I hope you are writing it down. Organizing 2 conventions for Biafran freedom in Finland. We are pointing out the crime. These are the reasons why they said Mazi Simon is a terrorist. And let the world be the judge. Organizing 2 conventions for Biafra freedom in Finland. That is why Finland gave Mazi Simon 6 years. designing and introducing the Biafran passport. These are the crimes he committed. That even some Biafrans are calling him a terrorist. The Biafran themselves, Biafran people went and testified against him in the court. These are the crimes he committed. Organizing two conventions in Biafra freedom in Finland. Designing and introducing the Biafran passport. Number 6, moving the Confederate capital of Biafra from Enugu to Ebube. These are the crimes he committed. That Nigeria, Finland, and DOS decided to tag him as Simon Ekpa, a terrorist, because he moved the Confederate capital of Biafra from Enugu to Ebube. Number 7, forming the Biafran government in exile and the Biafran homeland de facto government, which has now transformed into United States of Biafran government. That is the crime that Master Simon Ekpa committed. These are the crime that he committed and they made it, called him a terrorist and sentenced him to 6 years. Because Master Simon Ekpa formed the Biafran government in exile and the Biafran homeland de facto government, which has now transformed to United States of Biafran government. That is the crime he committed. Number 8, redrawing the Biafran map and creating the 40 states of Biafra. Redrawing the Biafran map and creating the 40 states of Biafra. This is the crime Master Simon committed. They call him a terrorist. The DOSO, the Nigerian government, the Finland government, and their allies. This is the crime that Master Simon committed because he redrawed the map of Biafra and created 40 states according to the will of the Biafran people. Designing and introducing the prototype of Biafran currency, a German. These are his crimes. Setting up committee that wrote the Biafran constitution. Because Master Simon Ekpa set up a committee that wrote the Biafran constitution. That is why they say he's a terrorist. That is why they say he's instigating. These are the crimes committed. I want the world to judge. Write them down. This our brother who wrote this wrote a very powerful piece. And you can equally bring out your own point. If you know any other crime, you know that I didn't put here or he didn't put here, you include it. We want the world to see all these things and judge how this amounts to terrorism. Establishing Biafra liaison offices in over 50 countries, lobbying those countries to recognize Biafra. That is a crime. To DOS, to Nigerian government, and to Finland. That Master Simon Ekpa was able to establish liaison offices in over 50 countries and lobbying those countries to recognize Biafra. That's one of his crimes. And the DOS, the Nigerian government, and the Finland government saw that made them to say they want to jail him 6 years. Hiring diplomats, lobbyists who help to push the Biafran cause to the world stage. These are another one. Because Master Simon Ekpa hired lobbyists who helped to push the Biafran cause to the world stage. I want the world to judge. If you have any other one I didn't list, you bring it up. Setting up the Voice of Biafra radio. Master Simon Ekpa set up Voice of Biafra radio to educate the Biafran people, to sensitize the world about the issue of Biafra and what is going on, and still going on even as we speak. That is a crime. That is what they saw as an instigation. That is what made them to come as a Simon Ekpa terrorists, because they set up a radio to educate Biafran people. Above all, exposing the saboteurs and corrupt elements hiding under IPOB. Above all, exposing saboteurs and corrupt elements hiding under IPOB and saboteurs hiding under Nigerian Zoological Republic. These are the crimes they committed that made them to call Master Simon Ekpa a terrorist. If there is anyone I have missed, you can add it up and let the world be the judge. Wherever you are and you're watching this program, I urge you in the name of Chukwu Okukabiam to be strong. Never give up. It doesn't matter the propaganda. It doesn't matter the blackmail. No matter where it is coming from, no matter who is sponsoring it, I know they are not going to stop. And I want you to know that they will not stop. They will not stop. Oh. They are not going to stop. They will not stop. They are going to come more and more. They are going to come more and more. Just go and look at the situation of the Israelites when they were in Egypt. Even when Pharaoh wanted to let them go, he still chased them again and said, no, how can I let these people go? That is our situation. So we must tighten up our belt and prepare. And continue to call out our clergymen. Those are our clergymen, those in Vatican, those are in United States, those are in Europe, in United Kingdom, who are parading themselves as clergymen with on top positions. Call them out. Let them begin to speak about what is happening to their own people. Let them speak about what is happening to their own people. Why do they focus on the issue of Palestinian? They talk about the situation of Palestinian people and they will never speak about their own situation. For how long will they continue in that idiotic things they are doing? It's not going to help anybody. It's not going to help anybody. We must continue to speak up. They will not like what we say, but they must not like us. We don't seek permission for anybody, and we are not looking for anybody to like us before we talk. We are not here to seek for approval for anybody. No, that's not what we do. All we do is to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. Speak the truth to power. Tell the world the condition of Biafra. So many of us today are giving up. Don't give up. I know it is very challenging. I know sometimes the situation is very, very tough and difficult. Sometimes even very difficult to explain. But I urge you in the name of Chukwu Okukabiam, don't lose your guard. Never give up. Continue to be strong. Continue to be consistent. Continue to be focused. No matter what you see, no matter what you hear, continue to stand strong. Because our freedom is signed and sealed. Nigeria is a failed state. And the whole world knows about this. Even those who are claiming to love Nigeria, they know that it's a failed state. They know that Nigeria cannot stand. Everybody knows that. But they are waiting for who to speak. But we, the Biafrans, have taken it upon ourselves, we've taken upon the challenge that we will continue to speak, we will continue to talk. No matter how bad it is, no matter where they kept us, no matter how they tried to cover the evil, we will not allow them to cover it. I want every one of us never to forget. And the people of the world that are watching, they say that we, the Biafran people, are the one causing insecurity. I will not stop reminding them of where we are coming from. The insecurity in Nigeria that you are seeing today did not start yesterday. And I'm going to share a very touching program that I have played here before a very long time. Many of us have seen that video, but we will keep on reminding them why we want to get out of the Zoological Republic. We will keep on reminding the world, because today they pretend they don't know. More especially Finland. Finland pretends today they don't know what is happening in Nigeria. I am going to play this video once again. I want us to pay attention to this emotional confession of somebody who the Fulani Janjaweed kidnapped. A woman they kidnapped, and the family swear never ever to come back to Nigeria. They say even if when they die, nobody should bring their corpse to Nigeria. They say even if they die, nobody should bring their corpse for Nigeria because of what they faced in the hand of the Fulani Janjaweed. And Finland wants us to fold our hands until these things happen to us before we can now fight for our freedom. Finland wants us to run to exile, get nationalities outside, and remain there. They want every one of us to go outside, run to somewhere and become a nationality over there and leave our land for them. That is why they have the boldness to arrest a man who is speaking on our behalf. We will never forget. We know whom we are. We know what we are facing. We know the danger we are in, and we cannot play and pretend we don't know. I want to remind some of us those dangers, because in Nigerian media, these informations are not coming out anymore. Informations about the terrorists, have they stopped? They never stopped. The herdsmen are still kidnapping till tomorrow. Till tomorrow, they are still kidnapping. And I want to let us listen to this message once again to remind you of what this Fulani Janjaweed can do.
The driver felt the wagon's tires rupture and decided to park the car with the hope of changing the tires. It was like a film. In a GC, motley military uniform came out of the bush. They fired at the boot of the car. Ahead of us, 5 of them came out of the bush. Another 2 came from the rear. My daughter screamed, "Mommy, Daddy, what's going on?" There was no time to say a word. They marched us through it into the bush, firing into the sky. My chest hit my daughter. Blood oozed. At this time, it was better to kill me. Shouted at one of the armed men. His response was hell. He went straight to my private part, tore my dress with his gun. The others ripped my dresses. I was left with my undies. My husband and my daughter started crying. 2 of them dug their teeth into my breasts. While attending a secondary school in Adamawa, I had lived with some Fulani, so I understood a few Fulani words. I started bleeding, at least for my daughter. To my shock, at gunpoint, they removed the dress of my little girl. One of them carried her on his head as my baby struggled, shouting, "Daddy, Mommy, what's going on? Help me!" I could not help myself. We marched for 9 hours. I was half naked. My daughter was totally naked. Her tears was like a stream of blood on her cheeks. Our phones had been seized. We ended up in an ungoverned region in the thick of the forest. We met a well-organized group. There were some kidnapped victims. I saw 2 women, 2 ladies and 3 men. There were some people with their legs chained to trees. They were as if half dead. We were separated. I was separated from my husband. My daughter was taken away. I only heard her screaming intermittently. I did not know what they were doing to her. These men, now about 2 dozen, had a say they don't know where these people are. How can they say that? But the camps appeared isolated from each other. We had noises afar, indicating it might be nuclear settlements of camps. Right in my presence, I saw them pack the remains of a woman. They took her and buried her a few meters away from us. She had tribal marks. I cannot describe the agony of 6 days in captivity in this little piece. I cannot talk about how they asked my husband to choose between myself being raped or his daughter being raped. My husband broke down in uncontrollable tears. One of them hit him saying, "Yoruba bastard, you dey cry, idiot." They now gave him an option that he should be raped by one homosexual among them. My husband, a devout Muslim. My husband is a devout Muslim. He told them that homosexual and rape of any kind was against Islam. He hit him with a bottle. AK-47. What do you know about Islam? You can imagine, you are being asked to choose between being raped by a homosexual, your daughter just 9 years old, or your wife being raped. They gave the fourth option. If you fail to choose one, we would rape your daughter, rape you, the man, and rape me, the wife. I made myself the sacrificial lamb. My husband died. See, they should name any price. One of them asked him to bend down. 3 beastly criminals sat on his back, jumping until he was too weak to stand. I was not allowed to put on any additional clothes. Imagine they raped me all night and they stopped me from putting on any clothes for 24 hours. The rain fell once. I became a relic and a sexual museum for the armed men who in turn addressed me and asked questions about my financial standing. New Fulani men joined the camp. They organized military training for the new Fulani men that came, teaching them how to shoot and walk through circles of glowing fire. They were not released until after 6 days. We were not released until after 6 days. We had to walk the same zigzag journey back to the main room, our eyes blindfolded. During the negotiation to pay, they said the money was not for them alone, that they had to settle those who sent them. For me, I see a thriving organized crime supported by powerful political interests. Now, I do not think we were released to freedom after paying a whopping 8 million naira. I do not think we can ever be free. We can never be free from the anguish, the psychological trauma, the nightmares we suffered, the occasional fix of my daughter, her waking up at night behaving strangely, her asking the same question over and over, Mommy, why? Why? And I do not have an answer. In my life, I have never passed through a torture chamber like this. I do not think any society should let this happen. I do not know the fate of those we met and about 7 other people brought during the 6 days we were in captivity. What I saw was a nation that has collapsed, but pretends she lives. A people on life support. Crime is not restricted to Fulani people alone. We have Yoruba criminals, but I don't think Yoruba criminals are this easily. These elements are savages. I can't imagine Yoruba thieves going to Sokoto or Maiduguri to kidnap Fulani people and keep them in their own bushes. It gives me mental torture that this is happening, and some people are even trying to justify or look for excuses. Well, as a devout Muslim, Myself and my family have taken solace in Allah. Not the Nigerian police, not the army, not the government. We have taken our faith the way it came, that this is supposed to be faith. I thank God that we successfully returned to where we live, thousands of miles from Nigeria. We thank God that we have made a vow. Never shall me, any of my children or husband in our lifetime visit Nigeria again. Our remains, anytime we die, will also not be buried in Nigeria. It was a suggestion my daughter made, which we all adopted. I pity the country. I pity her people who continuously walk like the living dead. I pity those who parade themselves as leaders because they know nothing about what is going on and the abyss the country is sunk already. I pity Yoruba people. Oh, I pity my people. For me, the issue is not about President Buhari. Democracy can produce anything, even the worst in the society. What I worry about is the conspiracy of silence by the people themselves, the ignorance, the treachery, and the illusion that one day things will get better through another election. Since I was born in Nigeria, each year had led from bad to worse and on and on. I do not have a solution to what's going on, but I think very soon hell will let loose upon the earth as long as there is no law and order and anarchy and the rule of roots in the order of the day. Once again, there can never be anything more comforting than my husband, who saw what I went through, but was able to exchange me, to encourage me, and even encourage me to write this little piece after months of agony and sociological imbalance. Good night, Nigerians.
What you had, this testimony you saw here, was the testimony of a Yoruba family, a Muslim for that matter. This testimony here, you know, it is good once in a while we play back these videos. We play back this is what Simon Ekpa was preventing. This is what you can imagine, the story of a Yoruba woman, a Yoruba family, Muslim for that matter. The way the man was raped, his wife was raped, his daughter was raped, and they paid ransom. And you see the woman who wrote that confess and say that Nigeria is gone and gone. People are playing politics, trying to, the same thing they are still doing today. The same thing they are still doing today. Today, what they have succeeded in doing today is that they don't want us to get this kind of information anymore. The media doesn't report it. This action is still going on. And the only reason why this is not happening in Biafra land to this extent is because Mazen Nandekano and Mazen Simon Ekpa put a mechanism on the ground to see that this Janjaweed do not have effect. Are you telling me that Finland government is not aware of this kind of information about the atrocities being carried out in Nigeria? This is not a Biafran, a Yoruba woman. She even swore that no member of her family will ever return to Nigeria again. She took the oath that no member of her family will ever return to Nigeria again. You can imagine. This is what is happening in the Zoological Republic. And this is what Simon Ekpa was preventing. And they went and kidnapped him. And today people are clapping. People are happy. Oh, he got 6 years. They gave him 6 years. This is what is happening in Nigeria that gave Finland the information that they went and kidnapped Simon Ekpa through judicial means. Because what they did to Simon is the judicial kidnap. I call it a judicial kidnap. A legal kidnap, judicial way. That's what they did to Simon Ekpa. Anytime I listen to this video, I shed tears. Anytime I listen to this video, I shed tears. And I wonder, How somebody can listen to this video, after listening to this video, you still come and speak of one Nigeria. You still come boldly and talk about one Nigeria. You see the woman say it. The woman say, even though Yorubas have their own criminals, but Yoruba criminal will never have the kind of heart, wicked heart, that a Fulani criminal has. A criminal-minded Fulani to go into a Yoruba criminal can never go to Fulani land and kidnap a family and rape the mother, the father, the children, and collect ransom, and still hold them in the bushes. The woman was saying it. The woman saw everything, and her family, they saw everything. How these people in their camp were equipped with different sophisticated ammunitions in their camp. They kidnap a family. They rape the man. They tell the man to choose. They first of all tell the man to choose either to rape the man, or to rape the wife, or to rape the daughter. The man begin to cry and say he's ready to pay any amount. They don't care. They say since he doesn't want to make a choice, even the wife will later sacrifice herself, give herself to them to rape. But yet it wasn't enough. They still rape the husband, they rape the wife, and they rape the daughter. And the daughter swore with the members of the family that they will never, ever, ever step their foot in the Zoological Republic again. Never. This is just one. There are many people who have taken that oath that, dead or alive, they will never step their foot in the Zoological Republic. The people of the world don't know. You don't know what you are hindering. You don't know. Each time you promote Nigeria, you don't know the life you are destroying. Each time you continue to defend Nigeria, each time that name continues to exist, you don't know the life you are destroying on the planet Earth. This very family now, any place they hear Nigeria, it is tragedy. It reminds them of pain. It reminds them of pain. And that is why our Supreme Amazon can say the name Nigeria need to be obliterated from this planet Earth. And Master Simon Ekpa say that we want to make sure that this name doesn't exist anywhere. The name is evil. The name is tragedy. The name is wickedness. Everything that surrounds that name Nigeria is evil. There is nothing good that comes out of it. Nothing. There's no good memory. There's nothing you will remember. I say, oh, because of this. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that is the country that Finland is dining and whining with. This is the country that the Western world are whining and dining with. But are they going to force us to be whom we are not? They will never. They will never succeed. They will never succeed. No matter how they try to continue to hold us down, they will never succeed. As you know, today is Sunday. What did your pastor preach today in the church about Biafra? You that is a clergyman, a Biafran clergyman that went to church today, you prayed. Did you pray for Biafra? What message did you preach? You think that the insecurity has stopped. Every one of you have kept silent. They kidnapped Master Simon Ekpa. Has your condition changed? What did you preach in your church today? I want to show you what a Yoruba preacher preached in his church. And I want to ask you, you that is a Biafran preacher, what did you preach in your own church today? Let's hear this Yoruba man, the message he has for his own congregation.
The Yoruba indigene of Ebahiso. I want to talk to you all. And I want you to accept what I'm State, in Ogun State, Osun State, Ondo State, Anambra State, even Anambra, even the Igbo lands as well. People are already entering those places. And they're already overtaking you people in your various states. What we are saying right now, this is not about religion.
Christian,
Whether you're a Christian
Muslim,
or you're a Muslim, and we are Yoruba traditional worshippers, this is time we must band together to fight for our father's land so that they don't overtake us in it. Don't let them use religion to take over our land. All those villages they've taken over in Ondo State, when they wanted to kill, they killed Christian and Muslim alike. They are fighting for the land, they are not fighting for religion. They are just coming through the lens of religion. But I'm telling you all Yoruba, please be prepared. Nigerians are back. Please be well prepared so that they don't take you away from your father's land. And calling on to the royalties in Yoruba land. Your new of Ife, the Imperial Majesty. Kabiyesi, we greet you, sir. Please talk about this. The new Alaafin, please talk about this. All the kings in Ondo State. The kings in Lagos, Oyo, Osun, please talk about this. Because when the war overwhelms us, we will not be able to do anything about it. Personally, I'm ready for war. I told you the last time that you fortify yourself. Some people will say, why will a pastor utter that kind of statement? Please go and fortify yourself. Because when war comes, I will drop my Bible. I will go and fight for my father's land.
Did you hear that? This is a message a Yoruba pastor is preaching, urging his people to prepare and protect themselves. Arm yourself, protect yourself against the invaders that are coming. You that is a Biafran Christian that went to church today, what did your pastor preach? We have top bishops. We have them in Vatican. We have them in the US. We have them in the UK. We have big pastors. What did they preach in their churches? What did they preach? They don't want to talk about the issue of Biafra. They don't even talk about the insecurity in their land. The intimidation and atrocity against them. This is a message that a Yoruba pastor preached in his own church. That even though he's a pastor, when the time comes, he's going to drop the Bible and take up the weapon and fight. And remember, there's a portion of the Bible that said a time will come when you have to sell everything you have and buy a sword. Sell everything you have and buy a sword. It is a message in the Bible. This is what a pastor preached. What did your Biafran pastor preach today in their churches? More especially the Igbo pastors.
Yourself. Some people will say, why will a pastor utter that kind of statement? Please go and fortify yourself. Because when war comes, I will drop my Bible. I will go and fight for my father's land. When the Christianity came into Nigeria, it came in 1842. That was when it came in. And the first person to compile the Bible, his name is Williams. They killed him on the 6th, 1536. They burnt him. He was lynched. The person that compiled the Bible for us. So don't let us put religion into our culture or for fight for our father's land. I will fortify myself and I'll be a leader. And if you can fortify people, fortify them. We will fight that war. I will drop my Bible because of my father's land. Because the Bible says it. Hebrews 6 verse 1. It says, set aside the teachings of Christ and let us do what is complete. We will now put it aside. Let's fight for our father's land. And we tell Jesus to help us. To help us in the war for our father's land. That's what we are going to do. When Jesus was caught, a disciple drew out his sword. His name is Peter. He cut off the ear of one of the soldiers. He cut off the ear of one of the soldiers. Jesus said, no. Keep your sword back in the shirt. That when the time comes, if you have a clothes, go and sell it. When the time comes, if you have sandal, you will sell it. Go to Luke 22. So, please don't leave the things of your father and the land of your father. Christianity does not stop me from fighting for my father's rights. So if you're Yoruba indigene, don't just hold your head. Don't let them take over our father's land from us. God will help us. Our ancestors would help us.
This was a message preached by a Yoruba pastor. What is different from this message and the message of our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, and our Speaker, that they are in detention today? This man, a pastor, is calling for self-defense and asking his people to do the needful. That you don't fold your hands all in the name of righteousness or religion and people will take you out. This is a message preached by a pastor. Your pastor, your Biafran pastor, that your pastor is a Biafran, Igbo Biafran. What did he preach today in his own church? What is this? What did he preach? Not even preach it. Did he remember to pray for the oppressed Biafran people? Did he remember to pray for the victimized Biafran people? We have somebody in Vatican, Cardinal Arinze. How many times have you seen Arinze open his mouth and talk about the insecurity in Biafran land, the attack against the Biafran people, the detention of Mazen Nandekan, and presently that of Mazen Simon, a cardinal living his life in Vatican? We have so many of them in the United States. We have so many of them in the UK. So being a Christian have made you not to fight for your freedom or speak up for people who are oppressed, even when you know that that was the mission of Christ. The reason Christ came to earth was to come and redeem mankind. Christ came to fight for Christianity. He fought for Christianity. That was his purpose on earth. Nothing else. Christ was in the forefront of fighting for Christianity. He fought with all his might, with all his strength. But today, some people think that being a Christian is that you must not speak about freedom. You mustn't talk about Biafra. When you say it, they will see you as a different thing altogether. Today is about personal interest, right? Personal interest. How long? When are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up? How long will this nonsense continue? How many people more need to die? How many lives need to be wasted before you add your own voice? How many more lives need to be wasted before you add your own voice? In Biafra land today, the only people that speak about Mazen Nandekan in their church gathering most time is either Mbaka or Ebukobi sometimes. Ebukobi and Mbaka, they are the only people who have been speaking about the issue of Biafra, Mazen Nandekan, diplomatically, because we don't expect them to speak the way we speak, by the way. So they say they use their own diplomatic way to air their opinion, which is okay. But what about those people who are in various top places? They are there deceiving themselves. They are there trying to be politically correct, even though they know that the zoological republic will never, ever, ever get better. Nigeria is not one and cannot be one. And when we say Nigeria cannot be, it is not just me saying it. Even the people from the other region, both the southwest and the south, they concur with what we are saying. They agree with us. They agree with us that Nigeria can never survive. I want you to listen to this. Let's hear this. Let's watch this video.
So the hardest thing I've had to accept since I've been here is that Hausas, my tribe, my people, unfortunately are not going to allow Nigeria to become what it's meant to be. The mindset of the northern Nigerians are going to destroy this country. I'm sorry to say it. So this is an idea I had, right? It was very simple. Raise money, build orphanages, massive orphanages, and pick up the Almajiris off the street. Take the Almajiris off the street. Teach them engineering. Teach them tech. Teach them coding. Take them off the streets and teach them, try to get them up to par so they can compete. And I brought up how every time I had this conversation, I would bring up the 4 Indian kids, the 4 Indian boys, like 10-year-old boys that were online, or they were doing the live chat and building an app. Every time I bring up this idea to a northerner, the first thing they ask is, well, what about Islam? What about Qur'ani? What about Islamic school? When I say I have met incredible resistance to the idea of taking these boys off the streets and getting them to join the global age. Like, my mindset is this. Every corner you go in northern Nigeria, there are 5 people willing to teach these boys Islamic school, Quran. There are 10 people willing to teach them everything they need to learn about Islam. Why isn't there anyone willing to teach them anything else? So when I brought that up, some people were like, I had people going, it will never happen unless I have to teach them Islamic curriculum in the schools. I said, you don't understand. Northern Nigerians are against the idea of changing the trajectory and the outcomes of Almajiris.
Did you hear that? This guy that is speaking is a northerner from northern Nigeria. He started his speech by telling you that northern Nigerians will never ever allow Nigeria to progress. They will never allow things to change. They will never allow themselves to improve or allow others to improve. And it is not a Biafran that is saying it, not an individual man. Somebody from the northern part of Nigeria. Look, listen, I want to play it from beginning again. Listen to the testimony of this guy about the northern Nigeria, the effort he made to remove the Almajiri system that is breeding Boko Haram, that is breeding foot soldiers for the terrorists. Today, in the northern part of Nigeria, all the terrorist groups in the world have their foot soldiers in Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria. Any terrorist organization you can think about, they all have their affiliation in northern part of Nigeria. Because that is the breeding ground where they have, and they are getting these forces from Almajiris. Look at the testimony of another. This guy is not, no matter you see him with dreadlocks, he is a northern. He will speak by himself. He's a northern from northern part of Nigeria. When he tried to make impact in the north, they resisted him. They say it's either he preached religion or nothing else. I want you to hear him again. Hear him.
So the hardest thing I've had to accept since I've been here is that Hausas, my tribe, my people, unfortunately are not going to allow Nigeria to become what it's meant to be. The mindset of the northern Nigerians are going to destroy this country. I'm sorry to say it. So this is an idea I had, right? It was very simple. Raise money, build orphanages, massive orphanages, and pick up the Almajiris off the street. Take the Almajiris off the street. Teach them engineering. Teach them tech. Teach them coding. Take them off the streets and teach them, try to get them up to par so they can compete. And I brought up how every time I had this conversation, I would bring up the 4 Indian kids, the 4 Indian boys, like 10-year-old boys that were online, or they were doing the live chat and building an app. Every time I bring up this idea to a northerner, the first thing they ask is, well, what about Islam? What about Qur'ani? What about Islamic school? When I say I have met incredible resistance to the idea of taking these boys off the streets and getting them to join the global age. Like, my mindset is this. Every corner you go in northern Nigeria, there are 5 people willing to teach these boys Islamic school, Quran. There are 10 people willing to teach them everything they need to learn about Islam. Why isn't there anyone willing to teach them anything else? So when I brought that up, some people were like, I had people going, it will never happen unless I have to teach them Islamic curriculum in the schools. I said, you don't understand. Northern Nigerians are against the idea of changing the trajectory and the outcomes of Almajiris. This say Almajiranchi, which is what it is embedded in our culture. And here's the thing, no, it's not. And as a Muslim, it's haram. I fucking said it. Any northern Nigerian that wants to step the fuck up, do it. It is haram. Because you are not allowed to bring a child into this world that you cannot raise. And there are northern fuck ton of Hausa men and women who have babies with no intention of, they know they only take care of that child for a certain age, then they'll pawn that child off. There are a fuck ton of imams, men in the north, who rely on these kids for a living. They send these boys out every day to go earn a living and come back and give them. I thought of an idea that, look, we need to find a way to raise money, build orphanages, teach these boys tech, teach them engineering, teach them robotics, let them compete with the global populace. And every time I bring this up, every fucking Hausa person I tell this shit to wants to argue with me. They say it's not going to. They are vehemently against this. So I need you to understand. I need to ask you, how will Nigeria as a fucking country compete with the likes of Ghana, South Africa, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, when the northern Nigeria is part of Nigeria?
Good question.
Something I'm going to have to say as a Hausa man is, for Nigeria to advance, they have to get rid of Hausa. They have to get the north Nigeria.
Did you hear it? For this guy is a northerner. He's saying for the zoological republic to succeed, that they have to get rid of the northern part of Nigeria. That is, you can never know progress as long as northern part of Nigeria continue to be part of this Nigeria. And I will help him to explain it more. For people to succeed, you must end anything called Nigeria. Throw it to the trash and trash it and push it into a dustbin and burn it up. As long as this name called Nigeria continues to exist, nobody in that area will see success. As long as you are linked to anything Nigeria, if you attach yourself to anything Nigeria. So this issue of saying northern and command, then you continue to answer. No. Every region, go your separate ways and be whom you want to be. Peacefully, let the Biafrans go. Peacefully, let the Oduduwa people go. Peacefully, let the Arewa go. Peacefully, let the Medu go. Let everyone grow in their own space, at their own speed, and compete at the level which they are capable to compete. If you want to build a caliphate, there is no problem with building a caliphate. Go ahead and build a caliphate. You want to build a monarchical system, build that monarchical system and deal with it with people that agree with it. You want to build a secular system, be there and stay with people that agree with it. That is all we are asking. The demand to end Nigeria is not a selfish one. It is not a wicked one. It is not born out of envy, greed. It is to save humanity. And look at somebody from the northern part of Nigeria. A northerner that lives in the United States came back to improve his people. They attacked him and said it will never happen. They prefer to continue to the elementary level. And this guy is testifying, telling you that Nigeria can never succeed as long as the northern part of Nigeria continue to be with the south. They will never know peace. But for us, we are gone and gone for good, and we cannot be part of this madness. Never anymore. Never, ever. I want you to hear it from him.
The fucked up thing I'm going to have to say as a Hausa man is, for Nigeria to advance, they have to get rid of Hausa.
Mm-hmm.
They have to get the north, Nigeria, it can never work.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sad realization.
Tell them.
It can never work. Like, this is insane. And I am Hausa. This is fucking crazy.
No, if it were an Igbo man that said
right
this, they will say, bring him and kill him.
New York. As you can see, I am from Shanono local government in Kano State. I am as fucking northern Hausa as it fucking gets.
To prove it.
As it could possibly fucking get. And I am saying Nigeria, to win, to compete on the global stage, Nigeria will have to get rid of the North. It will not happen with my people are actively holding this country back. It is so fucking insane.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? This is another man. If it were to be a Biafran that said, they say, oh, Biafran. And for the guy to make it clear, he brought his documents. Attestation of citizenship. He brought his document to show you where he come from. You know, because you see him with dread. Some of you were saying he's not Hausa. Maybe he's claiming to be Hausa. To make it clearer for you, this is somebody from the north. I want us to hear it again, making it plain and open and telling you that for Nigeria to succeed, you must get rid of the north. But I'm trying to put it right that Nigeria will never succeed. For anybody inside that zoological republic to succeed, we must trash it. Take that name, fold it like a tissue paper, and throw it, flush it in the toilet. Every region go back to themselves and grow. The testimony of this guy, a northerner. If it was a Biafran, they say, it's a Yoruba, they say, this one is a northerner who have seen the light, lived in the United States all his life, came back to impact his people. They rejected him and pushed him away. And look at his statement, the conclusion that he reached.
Nigeria is part of Nigeria. The most fucked up thing I'm going to have to say as a Hausa man is, for Nigeria to advance, they have to get rid of Hausa.
You hear?
The North, Nigeria, it can never work.
You hear?
This is a sad
Tell them.
realization.
Tell them.
That it can never work.
Thank God you yourself have realized because you are up.
This is insane. And I am Hausa.
Mhm.
This is fucking crazy. Wait, let me show you something. Right here, this is attestation of citizenship from New York. As you can see, I am from Shanono local government in Kano State. I am as fucking northern Hausa as it fucking gets. I am as Aboki as it could possibly fucking get. And I am saying Nigeria to win, to compete on the global stage, Nigeria will have to get rid of the North. It will not happen with my people are actively holding this country back. It is so fucking insane.
You see, with this kind of testimony that this guy testified, Alex Storb and Finland still took Mazi Simon Ekpa, who is trying to remove his people from this very entity that will never succeed. You see somebody from the northern part of Nigeria telling you that for the zoological republic to succeed, that they must have to get rid of the north. And you see the Biafran people fighting to take themselves away from this ship that is bound to collapse. A ship that is bound to collapse. And what did they do? They connived with Finland and they took away our prime minister. Look at the testimony of a northerner. These are people. These are places you want us to be. Somebody who is an indigenous, a citizen of that area said, for the place to succeed, you must get rid of them. And what do we get? What we get is the Zoological Republic working with Finland, and Finland buying into their idea. The Zoological Republic holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in detention perpetually for asking for referendum. You are jailing somebody for self-determination. International law supports self-determination. Nigeria signed up for it. African Peoples and Human Rights Law supports self-determination. Nigeria signed up for it. Nigerian law itself approves self-determination. They sign up for it. Why is it that when it comes to the issue of Biafra today, they are attacking it from right, left, and center? They take it to be an abomination. That you said we need to be free becomes an abomination. Simply because we want to be free, it is now an abomination. You see the testimony of a northerner, someone from the northern part of Nigeria. I didn't say it. If it were to be a northerner that have seen the light, lived his life in the United States and come out with open mind and said what he found out. My fellow Biafrans, the only remedy to what we are facing is Biafra. There is no other one. Except you don't want to be free. The only remedy that we have is Biafra. And there is nothing else. There's nothing else to demand. Nothing else to offer. The only thing you can offer us is Biafra. If you cannot offer us Biafra, give way and let us go for it and get it for ourselves. If you cannot offer us Biafra, give way. Allow us to pursue it, chase it the best way we can, in our own way, and get it. We cannot continue to beg. We cannot continue to beg. These are places we don't want. Look at another example. Let me show you another one. Listen to what a governor in Nigeria was saying. The way they destroy the foundation of the zoo. And these are the things you see, you begin to wonder why somebody must make himself part of us.
We will try more to cultivate that culture in our people, while at the same time bringing the Fulanis in one fold and try to arrest their traditional practice of moving from one place to the other. And that is very big, an uphill task. But I think we can communicate with them more, because to them they don't have borders from Cameroon to Nigeria.
But that's the thing, Excellency. How do we ensure that those who will be participating in this federal government largely funded program will be Nigerians?
In terms of the funding?
No, in terms of
the operations.
So they bring in Fulanis together.
You see, the issue of misconception, I think there is a lot of mistrust and misconception with regards to the Fulani man. The Fulani man is a global or an African person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is.
This is the problem. How can you be describing somebody as a global and African person? Fulanis don't even believe that they are Nigerians. Their nationality is just Fulani. And the person that is saying this thing on a national TV is a governor. He's telling you that their nationality is Fulani alone. They are not Nigerians. But yet, they want to accommodate them in Nigeria, give them the money belongs to them, give them Nigerian land, fund them with the resources in Biafra land. A governor is speaking about this boldly on a national TV. I want you to listen to this idiot. Listen to him.
In this federal government largely funded program will be Nigerians.
In terms of the funding?
No, in terms of
the operations.
So they bring in Fulanis together.
You see, the issue of misconception, I think there is a lot of mistrust and misconception with regards to the Fulani man. The Fulani man is a global or an African person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man.
Did you hear that?
And as a person, I may have my relation.
Did you hear that? The nationality of a Fulani man is just a Fulani man. Their nationality is not Nigeria. I want you to hear. A governor is saying this. I want you to hear this. Listen to it.
Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man.
Did you hear that? His nationality is just a Fulani man. His nationality is not Nigeria. They are from Gambia, from Senegal, from all parts of the world, and their nationality is Fulani. These same people come into a place they call Nigeria. And some of you brainless people are busy holding on to Nigeria, whereby the Fulanis that are removing the place, the Ottoman Danfodi of Sokoto, the Sultan of Sokoto doesn't believe in that you want Nigeria. He is just a Fulani. Ottoman Danfodi, Sultan of Sokoto is just a Fulani. He is not even part of it. That is why you see them when you are talking about building your Nigeria or whatever, they don't care. They are not part of it. In fact, they are the one that is treating it as a British company. The Fulanis are treating Nigeria as a company. They want to get anything they can get out of the company. That's because if the company falls, the old man go his own way. But the people who are still busy managing this company to make it survive is the Biafran people and the Oduduwa people. The Fulani man is just a Fulani. They are not. A governor is saying this. So a governor is saying this. This is what Finland want us to stay in.
It's a global or an African person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man. And as a person, I may have my relations in the Cameroon, but they are also Fulani men. I have relations because from the maternal side, I'm a Fulani man. And that is why we want to educate people. A Fulani man sees himself as a Biafran, as somebody coming from the Nigeria.
Imagine.
Because he speaks the Niger Delta language, which you and I don't. And of course, we would have to just take this as part of our own heritage, something that is African, and that we cannot just close the border and say the blind man is just a Nigerian or this. No. In most cases, the crises are precipitated by those outside Nigeria. When there is a reprisal, it is not the blind man within Nigeria that causes it. It is that culture of getting revenge, which is embedded in the tradition of the blind man, that attracts the president from all over the
Did you see that the Fulanis have a culture of revenge, vengeance? They will never stop. And the Avengers attack Fulani from all parts of the world to come and help them and fight, and they take vengeance. You see why the insecurity in the zoological republic will never stop until you end Nigeria. If you don't end it, people begin to protect their border. It will never stop. Look at a governor defending terrorism. A governor defending terrorism, that why you have terrorism, Fulani terrorized people, is because they have imbibed the idea of revenge. They will always revenge. When you do something, they will not forgive. They must fight back and revenge. That is that vengeance in them. That is why they come from all parts of the world to come and wage war against innocent people.
I understand. Does that mean that those Fulani men who are maybe domiciled in other countries who move around, they can come into the country and this plan will accommodate them as well?
Yes, that's what we want to do. But it has to be done through sensitization, telling them you have to buy in the project, and you use the language, the character itself, to be able to convince them away from the mistrust where the whole system of transhumance or pastoralism is criminalized. Criminalization of pastoralism is the problem that we have with this project, and it requires people with passion who understand them and who they believe in, people like us from that part of the country, to say, yes, we have this. Because today there is no limit to the accusation that this and that has happened and it is the blind man who caused it. There is no tribe that is not, that we don't have this criminality in, but certainly the way and manner we do it is really exacerbating the crisis and the problems.
Would there be any form of documentation of all the people that will be,
yes, we are taking
that.
Oh yes, that's going to give Nigeria the opportunity to really have the best in terms of documentation in the demographics. Because, as I said, the blind man settles anywhere he can feed his cattle. And so, if they are put in one place and they are made to understand that this is to save them and their animals, they are exposed to the vagaries of the forest and what is going on, cattle rustling, killings, and what have you. And that's why it is important for them to understand that staying in one place is good. And of course, in terms of the best practice of carrying the meat, the cows and the
let's do with that security angle for a bit. Is there going to be, is this plan going to be a fenced enclosure where anyone who comes in is secured, so there's no one that can just come in from anywhere else?
No. It is going to be a colony, and a colony does not require a fence.
You will understand the reason. You will understand the reason why people are concerned, because of all the security issues that have been happening over time. So if
these forests are there anyway. If you don't occupy them and create a colony out of them, they create places for the criminals. And today, that's why you have the Sambisa forest, because it's not being utilized.
But Your Excellency, much as yes, they're fantastic. We have met a lot of them who are Fulanis as well. But the concern too is, why should federal government use resources for this country to accommodate Fulani men who are not Nigerians?
You see, as I said, we're already accommodating them. Do you delineate and then really know who is not a Fulani man from Nigeria? They are all Nigerians. Because I said their identity, their own citizenship is Nigerian.
Did you hear that? Every Fulani on the planet Earth are all Nigerians. That is why he told you that their nationality is Fulani. So if you want to get rid of the Fulanis, you must get rid of Nigeria. If you want to get rid of the Fulanese that are taking innocent life, you must get rid of Nigeria. And that brings back to what that northern guy said, that for the zoo to succeed, that they must get rid of the north. The north that guy is meaning is the Fulanese. The only way to get rid of this north or whatever is to get rid of Nigeria. Once you get rid of Nigeria, the Odudu ones will be free. The Biafrans will be free. The Middle Belt will be there. Arewa will be on their own. And that is what we are advocating. Why is it difficult for the world to understand this simple solution? Why is it difficult for the world to pay attention to this simple cry? Why is it difficult for the world to do the needful? Today is Sunday. How many people do you need to die? How many more people do you need to die before you begin to advocate for Biafra in your churches? All those clergy, all those people with big title, bishop, cardinal, and whatever. How many people do you want to die before you begin to advocate for the freedom of Biafran people? Just how many people more do you want to die?
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma atụrụ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ atụrụ ihe niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị tigata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ nakata anyị isi ọ sị na ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wụzi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-enweghị omimi n'ime ya ihe mgbagbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwe kweghị kọwara m ọmụwa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwuwu na ebe a rụgidere ụlọ a na ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria gaghị emekọtawa ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wetiri na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi a na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị ụlọ ka nke ndị ụmụnne ha ekwesịghị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpara anyị asị onye agajọ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na enwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na a na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye gara ndụ paakụ onye rie niile ọ ndụ bụ isi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka echekata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee ka ajọ obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwoke na ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro kwekwasị abụrụ ma anyị ji wee kwuo okwu ọnwụ ihe ndị a ka anyị si na agaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ
ma akụkọ akọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkụ na elu aka ha zụkọ nwanụ a na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ nchụ aja mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu nwa ha na-etozigbe mkpa akụrụ ndị ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ ma ọ bụ ka ọ pụtara na anyị eziga aka ha zụkọ mere ya nweghị eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo ahụ kpafu bụ Naijiria
ọ bụ site n'akpọmasị nyere ime anyị dịka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga etu akụkọ niile dị iche iche gba ụmụ Izrel na-asị a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe ga-egbu anyị bụ nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na na-esi etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a nwa ha na-egbu obodo na onye nwe onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụ ofu ugboro ọnwụ ugboro abụọ ọnwụ ugboro atọ ọnwụ ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tụpụ na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ ga ọbata n'ime ụlọ bịa gbugbu isi a sị na achọrọ ụdị nke ọ bụghị anyị maka a ga-eji wee chụọ aja ọzọ
ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe na anyị ya anọ mmadụ abata n'ụlọ anyị wee bere anyị isi okwu ahụ dị omimi ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-anụ ọgụ isi ebe ndụ anyị dan na anyị ya nọ n'ụlọ wee foodu aka mmadụ abata wee bepụ anyị isi ọ ka mma ebe ọ bụla ị nọ wherever you are, it is high time we sit up stand up and face the order of the day. Our freedom is in our hands. Our freedom is in our hands. Anything you can do to make sure that this name Zoological Republic ends. Anybody that is against this Nigeria, I am with you. Whoever you are, I don't want to know. I don't want to know your religion. I don't want to know your tribe. I don't want to know your location. I don't want to know your group. As long as you are standing against the Zoological Republic called Nigeria, I'm with you. Nigeria must end to save life. That is the only way to save the life of the ordinary people. We must continue to speak as Christians. Today is Sunday. One of the most important things you have to do is to know that the person who brought Christianity, the person upon whom you are putting your hope on Christianity, fought for freedom. He fought for freedom. Christ himself came to the world to fight for freedom of mankind. He came to fight for freedom of mankind. That was the only thing he did. He didn't come for any other mission. The mission of Christ was to come and fight for the freedom of mankind, and he fought and won. Why would you, who call yourself a Christian, not be fighting for freedom? Why would you that call yourself a Christian not be supporting freedom? Why would you that call yourself a Christian not be talking about freedom? There is nothing else to talk about in the Zoological Republic. There is nothing. The zoo is gone and gone forever. Every day is insecurity news. These are the current recent news we have. Ambush in Talibri region. At least 14 Nigerian soldiers were murdered in an ambush in the volatile Talibri region. The attack was triggered by what was reported as a fake robbery. Armed men on motorcycle used as decoy. Militants from group like the Islamic State affiliates and active in that area. Islamic State, ISIS, took the life of 14 soldiers. You will not see them angry if it's in the southeast. While we are defending ourselves against the terrorists that set us in the southeast, you will see an outrage everywhere. They'll begin to shout. Attack in Bani Bango, in western Niger, near the border with Mali and Burkina Faso. An assault targeted an army base in Bani Bango. The attack using motorbikes and vehicles killed 34 soldiers and wounded 14. Nigerian forces say they killed many of the attackers afterward. You can imagine. The boldness of these terrorists, they attack barracks. This one is an army base they attack. And they took the life of 34 soldiers. This is a recent one. They attack an army base. But you will not see them get angry. Their focus is in Biafran land, where people are asking for self-determination. Islamic militant activity is increasing. Group linked to the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. Example, Islamic State Sahel Province, ISPS, are active in border areas, especially in the Talibri region, which lies at the intersection of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Attack on both against civilians, mosque, market, villages, and military posts. They are not concerned. They are talking about Biafra. High civilian toll and displacement. Many attacks have resulted in large number of civilian deaths. Example, the Manda massacre killed 71 plus villagers. 71 plus villagers. There are also many internal displaced people due to insecurity, food insecurity, and strained infrastructure. Bad news. Everything about Nigeria is bad news. Bad bad news, right, left, and center. Deteriorating human rights. Since the July 2023 coup, the military government has been accused by organizations like Amnesty International of arbitrary detention, suppressed dissent, restricting the press, and failing to uphold civil rights. These are what you see. Every look and cranny of Nigeria is trouble. It is trouble. It is trouble. Everywhere is trouble. There's no good news everywhere. This is why we want to walk away. And country like Finland decide to play dumb as if they're not seeing it, as if they don't know why we are walking away. But it doesn't matter whether they see it or they don't see it, whether they agree or they not. It will not stop us from getting out of the Zoological Republic. We're going to get out. We're going to get out. Nothing is going to stop us. It is too late. It doesn't matter what they do. I appreciate every Biafran that is standing strong up to this day. Please, as a Biafran, do not be discouraged. As a Biafran, do not be distracted. Be focused. The only mission is freedom. One collective interest that we have is freedom. Every single one of us that is from the old southeastern region, the present southeast, lower Kogi, lower Benue, we are seeking for freedom. Always focus on that collective interest. It doesn't matter the camp you belong. It doesn't matter who you support or who you don't support. Focus on that collective interest. If you are for Biafra, I am for you. In the video I played at the beginning, Simon Ekpa said, I am for everybody. Nandekano say, I am for everybody. For as long as you are against injustice and you are fighting against Nigeria, I am for you. As long as you are standing against the zoo, I am for you. I pray that Chukwu Okigabem will give us victory. I appreciate everyone that have been with us on this program this evening. We were able to take it up to 2 hours. Thank you so much for being part of the program. Tomorrow being Monday, remember it is Sit at Home. We are going to come tomorrow with our Sit at Home program. If you have not yet subscribed to this very channel. If you have not yet shared, share. Like the program. Click your notification bell so that you can join us on time. Most of my program these days, I start early and end up early. I don't spend much time. At most by 2 hours, I will be done. So tomorrow we are going to have our Sit at Home message. So wherever you are, try and join us on tomorrow's program. Try as much as possible and join us. Let us continue to preach this gospel. Don't get tired. You know, sometimes you see things that discourage you. Some people will come and to discourage you, even in the comment section, attack everywhere. Physically, you see people insulting you, but remain focused because of one thing. It's about our freedom. It doesn't matter what anybody say. Focus on the pursuit of freedom. And I believe by the special grace of Chukwu, we shall overcome. Thank you so much for being part of this program. I appreciate every single one of you that made it on this very Sunday sermon. May Chukwu guide and protect you all, more especially those in Biafran land. No evil shall befall you. I pray for our leaders, those who are in detention, Mazi Nandekano and Mazi Simon Ekpa. May Chukwu continue to guide and protect every one of you. May Chukwu continue to strengthen you. May Chukwu continue to lead you in the path of freedom. We pray that Chukwu will protect them, secure them, build a security around them. No evil shall befall them. Whatever plan the enemy has against them will never stand. Thank you so much for being part of this program. Thank you so much for listening. And I will see you again tomorrow by the grace of Chukwu. Have a wonderful night and stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Nigeria don't enter one chance, I swear we'll not go with the go so. Herdsmen they kill us every day, for them busy they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh them they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they are they run to? Who be that? I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat jealous. Something done the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come. It is very close at the film. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it on. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. But now them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.